morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. So, moving on to the next tier, the tier 6, the highest DPM tank in tier 6. Now, I know we've been talking about DPM isn't always good for the tank. You know, it doesn't always mean it's the best tank. However, when it comes to tier 6, the highest DPM tank in this tier does actually mean that the tank is fantastic, because you are looking at the tank right now. Now, joint first is the Cryos and the Jag Panzer IV. Now, both tanks are absolutely brilliant. Now, the Cryos was probably one of the most broken tier 6 tanks, and definitely the most broken battle pass tanks that Wargaming have ever released in the game. So it has a little bit of armor on this tank. However, the Jag Panzer IV don't have too much armor. However, you can still get troll bounces. The DPM on these tanks is almost 3,000. Way above everything else. Way above everything else when it comes to tier 6s. 3,000 DPM. 2,958 DPM. That is a 4.46 second reload. Now, the DPM on both tanks is exactly the same. So the alpha, everything like that is exactly the same. 175 on your AP, 225 on your APCR. Decent pen as well for what it is, 220, 190 on your APCR. Aim time and dispersion is both okay as well. Now, with the Cryos, it's got 8 degrees of gun depression, which is also very, very nice, and a top speed of 40 kilometers per hour. Whereas when we look at the Jag Panzer IV, doesn't have as good armor. The reload, DPM, everything like that is exactly the same. Penetration's better on the Cryos, I think, and this one has a lot better aim time and dispersion. Only has 5 degrees of gun depression, but this does have a top speed of 45 kilometers per hour. So both tanks are brilliant. Both tanks are really brilliant. When they buffed the Jag Panzer IV quite a while ago and made it just insane, like the DPM is absolutely insane. If you can get yourself into a position, then with this tank, not talking about the Cryos, but with this tank, if you can get yourself into a position, you can farm, like absolutely farm, because you've got to remember, you've got no armor, so you do need to get yourself in that position where you can farm some enemy tanks. So 4.5 second reload, very, very nice. And like I said, we're going to try and get ourselves into position here. Now, with this tank, obviously, because the DPM is so high, I mean, 3,000 DPM is, for tier 6, is more than a lot of tier 10s. Like, it's sort of border level tier 9 mediums. So yeah, very, very nice. 3,000 DPM for these tanks. Nothing comes close to the Jag Panzer, or the Jag Panzer IV and the Cryos. Now, the Cryos is better because it does have armor. I think I do actually bounce a little bit in this game. Well, I bounced the enemy there. But with the Cryos, not so much now, but if you're especially if you're coming up against tier 5s. If you're coming up against tier 5s in either of these tanks, really, you can actually get some bounces, more so in the Cryos. But yeah, you're just going to absolutely bully them. You're going to tear anything that comes your way. But of course, trying to get the footage, most of my battles were actually against tier 7. In fact, I think the Cryos replay is tier 5, and it was the only tier 5 replay I could get. Doesn't really show the strengths of the tank, but it was only decent. And I kind of realized that when you are against tier 7, then the tanks are not actually that strong, even though the DPM is strong. But yeah, you just get torn apart. You don't have the hit points, you don't have the armor, and yeah, you just get absolutely torn apart when you are up against tier 7 tanks. So of course you do need to watch out for the smashers, the SUs, both SUs, the SU-152 and the SU-100Y. KV2s you still need to watch out for, especially more so in this tank than the Cryos. The Cryos can actually, if you wiggle, you'll be surprised on how much bounces you would get. So right now, it's a 7 versus 3. We are just about to win. I should have probably pushed a little bit sooner, to be honest, because we are tearing the enemy apart. There goes the Type 62, and now, again, we are bullying this guy. We managed to get the bounce from the Cromwell, another bounce from the Cromwell, a bounce from the Stayer there, and another bounce from the Stayer, and unfortunately, we are unable to get any more damage done to him. So, we didn't really lose any hit points. We managed to get the bounces, which is what I'm saying. Even this tank, you are able to get some bounces at least. 1900 damage, I mean, nothing special there at all. However, with the Cryos, again, you have brilliant armor, absolutely brilliant armor. So we're just going to fast forward it a little bit. We don't do too much this battle. We don't really bounce too much, but that's because I'm playing so aggressive, and you can't expect to bounce everything. I mean, if you can angle correctly, we get that bounce from the object there, but I'm going to ignore. I don't really care about getting shot at the moment because I want to take care of that STRV-74, and then I really want to rush in and look at the hit points. I mean, 1200 hit points. I'm on my own here. I'm on my own. I get that bounce. He should be pushing me. He should be pushing me, but he's just, he doesn't want to push me. The Object 244, for what it is, a heavy tank, it's actually got decent DPM. So this guy should be pushing me. He shouldn't be coming out sideways like that. And again, I do get a bounce. So we have lost a little bit of hit points, but I'm confident now with my 3000 DPM. I'm confident that even myself can take care of this guy, but I do get a bit of backup there, which helps me massively because I'm not bouncing too much. You know, I've only bounced 360, which is still enough, because if I wouldn't have bounced that, I would be a one-shot. So we do manage to take care of him with the help of my team. But do you know what? I would have been able to take care of him on my own. I didn't need no backup at all. So we're now up to 1000 easy damage, but as you can see, the enemy team are all around that side of the map. So do you know what I want to do? I don't want to go in the middle there because now I just don't have the hit points. So if I was full hit points, I would probably go left here and come up in front of them. But because I don't have the hit points, I've lost half of my hit points, I now just want to get behind them and just absolutely, you're going to see in a minute, just a little bit with the KV-220, I'm just going to bully him. I'm going to absolutely bully him with my 3000 DPM. It's taken me a while to get there, and it could have actually turned out bad because by the time I get there, then my team could have actually all been dead. But I'm finally there. I finally made it, and I have come behind the KV-220T. So there's one shot, and again, if he takes a shot, there's no chance. There's absolutely no chance. Luckily for him, the Dicker Max comes here, and I don't even know why I attempted that shot. But again, I managed to get the bounce. So just 2 tanks left now. He is going to actually aim, take the shot. He is just left alive, so he's now backing up, and I'm just going to push forward. I might not have him on DPM. As you can see, I think he was reloaded, but I still managed to get the shot. So very easy damage. But yeah, brilliant tanks to play. They are a bit difficult, but if you can get yourself into a position where you can farm, then you really can farm as long as the enemy are there. That gives you shots. You need to do that more so on the Jagdpanzer IV. On the Cryos, again, you do have that the armor. You do have that armor, so you're able to get some bounces. As you can see there, 870 blocked damage, and you can do that quite regularly. Again, you can do even more than that if you do come up against tier 5s. You can absolutely just tear them apart. So this is the highest DPM tank in tier 6 currently. Let me know if you're shocked at this. I'm not. I knew it was this tank. Well, both of these tanks, I knew it for a long time, so I was not surprised at all. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So just because it's got high DPM, both tanks, do you think they are good tanks? So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you all very soon. Bye-bye. With